Welcome to Sailing Avanti. We are Gerard and Jacqueline, sailing our 41-foot monohull Avanti around the world from Cape Town, South Africa. We're currently sailing the islands of Los Roques, and these last few days was really a highlight. As we approach the island of Los Mosquises, we end up in a bit of a mess. As our buddy boat, Bequeathy, with their shallow draft, sail over some shallow parts, I decide that it looks way too shallow for our keel, and I decide to head to a leading line that's shown on the charts and that's supposed to lead you into the bay. Once we get to the leading line, we see that this was not the best plan. The depth meter reads 2.5 meters with our draft of only 1.8 meters, and it's way too close for comfort, as we dodge coral bommies to try and get to the anchorage. Luckily, the sun was high in the sky and I was on the bow with polarized sunglasses, which helped a lot to spot these bommies.
We made it safely. There might have been a few naughty words and a short argument about whose fault it is about the situation we're in, but we made it safely. And you should probably know, at almost every anchorage in Los Roques, I have declared that this is my new favorite blue. And I can safely say that this island has topped all of them. I cannot see anything topping this blue anytime soon. The crystal clear water at 6 meters deep and the sandy bottom was the perfect ingredients for what I love.
The small island of Los Mosquises is home to a turtle sanctuary. We visited the sanctuary where we saw 3 types of turtles: green turtles, who became famous after starring in Finding Nemo, hawksbill, and loggerhead. The conservation staff here finds nesting sites on the beach and protect those areas until the turtles hatch. One hatchling was brought in 9 days ago. He was so small. He or she will stay here up to 2 years before being released, with a better chance of survival back in the ocean.
Old.
Desoban, ponen los huevos y yo las agarro.
¿Y ustedes viven todos los años aquí?
30, 40 días, nos vamos a tierra firme, volvemos. 30, 40 días, vamos a tierra firme, volvemos.
It feels like nails.
Pero en otro caso es eso.
En tierra firme.
Tierra firme.
These actually feel like nails.
Caracas de Caracas. Ah, okay.
Which one? This one? This one.
Flip them back.
¿Y fotos?
You like to have a picture with the stories? Als ik aan het zit, veel sorry.
We're finally on our way to our last destination, Cayo de Agua, one of the most photographed places in Los Roques. Heading there, we do see that it's not as protected as some of the other anchorages, and we reroute to Bequeathy, just north of Cayo de Agua, which should be a 30-minute dinghy ride away. Bequeathy is home to a pink salt lake that normally has flamingos, but we weren't lucky enough to spot them this time. The 1.5 nautical mile journey was a lot more windy and wavy than expected, but we made it, even with our small 2-horsepower Yamaha engine.
Cayo de Agua, and as you can see, it's really beautiful. There's a strip called Sandy Strip where it connects the two islands with the sandbank, so we're trying to get through that. And this is our last visit in Los Roques, so we will not see any new places, so we were very sad to leave soon. But it's been awesome. Today I'm drinking the second local Venezuelan beer. It's the last one that we could really find that was a local beer, so it's called the Polar, or the Polar is the brand, and it's also a Pilsner or a lager. It's a 355 milliliter can. We didn't really see bottles here, but we were only in one shop, so not a lot of shops visited, and it's got 4.5% alcohol. So yeah, let's see how it tastes on this beautiful Los Roques location. It's quite light, like most of the Pilsners we found in the Caribbean. I think it's better than the previous Venezuelan beer, so I'm quite a Pilsner fan. So in terms of a rating, this one I would give a 6 out of 10. It also, in Venezuela, you can buy, I think they had a special 3 beers for $5 and I think it's because they don't have a lot of US dollar change, so they want to avoid the $1 bills. So 3 beers for $5. Cheers. Tonight I'm making our little trevally that we caught, that our buddy boat Pacific caught in Los Roques. So we had it in the freezer and we've prepared it. So this time we're not making the fish whole. We've salvaged as much fillets as possible and I'm just cooking it in the pan with some rice and a nice sauce.
Last night in Los Roques and we're having a beautiful dinner. This fish taste it's perfect, not overdone. It's a very light fish and yeah, have a good evening everyone. The next morning, just before we head out, I want to go up the mast one more time to show you the bird's eye view of the area. But it's very windy and I can't go up the mast as high as I wanted to. The swell on the beam was just too much. Our Venezuelan adventure came to an end too soon, but it was time to go to Bonaire. Bonaire is 50 nautical miles away, thus a late afternoon departure with early morning arrival with light winds. We headed south around the other two Venezuelan islands to stay 20 nautical miles away from the coastline and keeping our AIS on. The Coast Guard in Grand Roque made this suggestion. Some vessels try and stay invisible to pirates in these waters by keeping their AIS off, but in truth, to the Coast Guard you look more like a vessel trying to hide something, and they're more likely to come and see who the vessel is that's passing the naval base. Flapping sails could drive any sailor quite mad. They flop when the wind is coming from the wrong direction, or if the wind is lighter than the swell pushing the boat and spilling the wind out of the sails. The solution on Avanti is our spinnaker pole. We pull out the genoa and keep it in place. It's funny to think back to when we just departed South Africa. Neither Gerard or myself had ever used a spinnaker pole on Avanti before, and we learned how to do it on the open ocean with a few extra hands. Now we can set her up in a few minutes.
The sun check is quite impressive.
The sun is just about up and it was a very nice night. We really didn't have any issues. Sometimes we had a bit of light wind, but that wasn't a problem. We just took it slow. It's about 6 in the morning, so the sun's just about up or starting to come up, and we're just off the coast of Bonaire. So the interesting part is we don't have a visa for Bonaire. South Africans will understand the visa problem, but we do have a USA visa, so United States tourist visa, and according to our knowledge, South Africans are allowed to come here if they have a USA visa. So we've emailed them and they have responded saying yes, it's fine, you guys can come for 90 days, but there's always this lingering feeling behind a lingering feeling that maybe we won't be allowed in. So let's hope for the best, keep our fingers and toes crossed. Everything keeps changing between these islands. We just heard about friends of ours that a friend that was in Los Roques with us that left for Curacao, and when he arrived at Curacao he wasn't allowed in because they don't accept any boats coming directly from Venezuela, so he had to leave Curacao and come to Bonaire. But he's not South African, so he didn't have the visa issue. But all the administrative issues of coming and going into new countries always makes it a bit worrying when we come to a new island or a new country, but I'm sure everything will be fine. Gotta stay positive. Next week we're allowed in and show you what this island has to offer other than the diving it's best known for. Thank you for watching this week. Remember to leave us a like or a comment if you've got any questions about the places we visit. A big thank you to our Patreons, a great group of people you can join by clicking on the link in the description below. See you next week.